Let's do Stugotz's weekend observations here. Let's go through them because Stugotz is back. We're all happy to have him back. Let's see where we end up now.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, he hasn't moved in what feels like 5 years. Every time we see him, he is standing in the same place on the Jet sideline, wearing the same raincoat with the hood pulled over his head, even when it's not raining. He looks amazing. And if that's all he ever did, he'd be worth every penny. But Dan, yesterday, he moved. And in doing so, led an improbable comeback on the road that only a Super Bowl champion and Tua could pull off. 26 of 44, 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and not a single hair out of place. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, Joe Flacco is back. Joe Cool. Got a quarterback. Speaking of back, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G.
I thought you were going to go, speaking of back, Jameis Winston.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing a football game with 5 broken bones in his back.
It's game 2 of the season. Trey Lance is done for the year. Dak Prescott is hurt. The Steelers look a lot different when T.J. Watt is grateful that he gets only 6 weeks and not an entire season. All of these guys are going to be broken in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Dan, you know what the C in Crimson Tide stands for?
No.
Chinny Chin Chin. I just realized I left something from last week.
Were you pleased with that?
You know what? Listen, I just keep writing, and I sometimes forget to delete. That was an observation from last week. It was the Texas game. I left it in there.
They escaped by the hairs on their chinny chin chin.
Yeah, chinny chin chin.
Week.
Close game. 21-20.
You're doing a Mary Poppins like Jim.
No. Forgot to take it out.
That's excellent work, Stugotz. Keep telling other people to work hard.
Always a sad day when someone has to return a Herbie, but it looks like UM quarterback Tyler Van Dyke is going to have to return his because he was named college football player most likely to step it up. Return that Herbie.
So 2 shots at our first ever NIL athlete in this show. Great.
Yep.
I can make it 3.
Mm-hmm. Every time I have boxed water, I feel like I'm drinking milk. There are many things meant to be chugged out of a carton. Water, not one of them. Top 5 things to chug out of a carton. Number 5, Minute Maid fruit punch. Delightful. You like it? I see you shaking your head.
Well, I'm with you on. I don't love boxed water either. There's something about
it's not meant to be in a box.
The less environmentally safe plastic bottle. I guess I'm used to it, but the box doesn't taste the same.
Exactly. Number 4, Welch's grape juice. Fantastic. Number 3, Nestle's chocolate milk. Number 2, orange juice. OJ. Number 1, any milk carton. It's milk.
Yeah, we'll just keep using plastic till the heat death of the universe. It's fine.
I mean, just drinking out of a carton. That's all I'm doing. Georgia. The Bulldogs. That's all I got.
That's it?
They're good.
I mean, but that's your thought? The Georgia, the Bulldogs.
Need I say more?
Okay.
Stetson Bennett going to win a Heisman?
He might.
It's wild.
Is he good, or is it just their defensive line again eating people?
He's playing a different type of football, but he's good. He's improving.
He really is.
Did we see what Shane Beamer did this weekend? South Carolina had a bunch of people in the end zone at the start of the second quarter, and Shane Beamer was screaming at them to get off. And the camera cut to him, and he was very upset. It was Georgia's ball. And then after the game, a University of South Carolina soccer player said that was them doing a thing to honor all the female athletes at the school for 50 years of Title IX, and that they were screamed off the field after 15 seconds.
I'm sorry to laugh at that.
Yeah, you had the optics of Shane Beamer screaming, "Get the F off the field."
Nepotism, Shane
to
Beamer.
the greatest athletes of that program's history. Some of the only programs there at that university that have done any winning.
Like it would have been any different if that timeout was 30 seconds shorter.
Exactly.
He gets mad testy whenever he has to play Georgia.
I mean, wouldn't you?
No, he does. Last year, he's like,
Bulldogs.
what would you like me to do? They have a 200-pound advantage inside. What would you like me to do?
They have 42 5-star recruits. I have 3 4-star recruits.
Get out of here, Phil.
I mean, it's,
The women at that school have actually won a national championship recently.
Here's his latest hit, getting testy after Georgia, which is, I hope he stays long enough for this to be an annual tradition. Shane Beamer getting
this is a
testy.
different one. It can't be as good as the last one. The first time he did this, when he introduced us to Georgia's defensive line, was totally ridiculous. It can't be better than that one.
Sense any give up in the locker room?
Hell no. Kind of questions that, Phil. We're 1-2. We're 1-2. We got a bunch of fighters in that room, and give up. That's not a part of this football program. Get out of here, man.
Phil.
What did Phil do? Let me hear the beginning of that. I'd like that forevermore as something dismissing any reporter's question that you don't like. Call him Phil.
Hell no. Kind of questions that, Phil. Hell no. Kind of questions that, Phil.
Get the sound of how he talked about Georgia last year.
Not one, but 2 tonight for Monday Night Football. Or as some might say, a little double dip. Nothing worse than the Uber driver who spends your entire drive giving you all the reasons he doesn't need to be an Uber driver. Ever get one of those?
I mean, yeah, the chatting.
Jesus. Well, just drive me and shut up.
Here's the sound of Shane Beamer. Last year, he had to go up against that great Georgia defensive line.
Just what were they doing to maybe make things physical on the offensive side and maybe being able to get a push?
Who was doing?
Georgia's a defensive line. What were they doing to maybe make things difficult on the offense?
They've got like 105-star football players on their defense. They have a defensive lineman that weighs 340 pounds and runs better than everybody on this call. They've got 5-star defensive backs. They're big and physical and fast. I mean, other than that, they're really freaking good. That's why they have the top defense in the country. They're hard to run the football on. So there wasn't some magical scheme they came out with tonight. They got 5-star recruits everywhere, and they play really physical. Damn.
Yeah, Phil.
Bad news. Justin Herbert has fractured his rib cartilage. Good news. His flowing locks and beautiful face are perfectly intact. Also, make it to the playoffs. Phil Mickelson wants the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour to come together. Dan, you know what Phil wants?
His cake and eat it too.
Yes, very good. That's what Lefty wants. Amazing. Purdue had a 6th-year senior and a 7th-year senior on their roster.
Kind of questions that, Phil.
So good.
Hey, 6th-year seniors
Phil.
and 7th-year seniors.
Hell no.
Here's an idea.
Phil.
Get a job.
Hell no.
The Boilermakers.
Hell no.
North Texas has a 29-year-old starting quarterback.
It's ridiculous already. I mean,
Phil.
seriously. Northwestern win a game in the United States.
Phil.
The Wildcats. The whole Southwest seat yourself thing is a very, very tricky game. Top 5 things you do to discourage people
Phil.
from sitting in your row when you and your wife are occupying 2 of the 3 seats.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So you want the row to yourself on Southwest.
So we take the aisle. I take the aisle. My wife takes the window seat. We leave the middle seat open. Okay. You, of course, you don't want anyone sitting there. Number 5.
Damn.
Threw me off. Sorry. Put down the middle tray table. Number 4. Put a carry-on bag on the middle seats.
This is ugly. This is an ugly side of you.
It is. Number 3. Is there any other kind? Buckle yourself in and pretend you are sleeping. Number 2. Cough. And if you can, throw a sneeze or two in.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can.
Yeah. Today, this is.
Otherwise, just keep coughing.
This list would have been different 3 years ago.
It would have been.
Do you cover your mouth with the sneeze and the cough?
Absolutely not.
Wow.
You want someone to sit in that seat?
Damn.
And number 1.
If 1 through 4 don't work, Dan, fart.
Hell no.
Here come the Jays.
What kind of questions that, Phil?
LeBron, great job. And you are right. Sarver can't treat people like that and keep his team. And you know who else can't treat their people the way they do? China. Say something. Nebraska coach, Mickey Joseph, said of his team, what happened. He just never said when it was really time to step up and do something. LeBron zipped it up and was quiet over a shoe deal. And it still bugs me until this day. It does. I'm sorry. It's easy when it's Sarver and when it's the Clippers, this and that. And he's right. He's right. But his words have power, and he could have used them in the absolute best way, and he didn't.
What a strange time.
I don't know why I'm mad about
you
it.
to take. I don't think you actually are.
It's like he did speak out, and now we're going back to something he didn't speak out about.
Right, but if you're going to speak out about something, speak out about everything. That's all I'm saying.
Everything.
I mean, Ali did.
Okay, well, that's a pretty good standard. Yes,
Yep.
Ali did.
Cassius Clay. Yeah.
Thank you. That's okay.
I mean, he did. Anyway.
What a strange Fox News take.
It was weird.
For you to take like 8 months after anyone else was
I took
talking
it then
about
and
it.
I'm taking it now.
No, you haven't taken it at any point.
I
This is
did
the
then, and I'm
first
doing
time-
it again now. I said it then. You weren't listening, and, you know. You're right. It's a strange time. It's a weird thing to hold on to.
Well,
I don't know why I'm so mad at that guy.
Find the one
he does
place
so much good for
where
so many
you
people.
can criticize
He really
LeBron
does.
because
I mean, rings. Anyway. Nebraska coach Mickey Joseph said of his team's 49-14 loss to Oklahoma, "This is on me."
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jessica. She said it. I got my own private show there.
That will remain private.
No, say it. Say it.
I
There's nothing
said
about-
you gave a Geraldo Rivera take.
What kind of questions that, Phil?
It's weird. Anyway, the coach said that loss was on him. Thank you, coach, for clearing up any confusion.
He really did. He went so far out of his way. Nebraska's so bad, and all he kept saying was, "It's on me. It's on me. It's on me." It's just like bring accountability to the news conference. But they're so bad. Like Oklahoma made them look like a team that did not belong on the field playing Division I college football.
They are bad, but honestly, like their defense is just really bad. I don't really even hate their offense.
I mean, it's not great.
How about did you see all the?
They're not great either, but their defense is really bad. And you're playing Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I think, is now the Big 12 favorite.
There are reports out there that Nebraska's already reached out to Urban Meyer. All the thirsty Urban Meyer
They
T-shirts
were chanting his name. They were chanting his name. The reports he's denied him and has no interest in coaching. That part was disgusting.
How is Tom Brady better at the quarterback sneak than Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields? The doctor being sued by Tyrod Taylor for puncturing his lung is probably not the doctor you want hanging around the ribs of Justin Herbert. When did Justin Houston become a Raven?
Billy, every time Herbert's name is around here, you're so in on Tua that every time you hear Herbert's name around here, it's like they're tickling
Scrub.
you. You want to start ripping Herbert, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, Herbert's haircut is what Tony's haircut is, not to bring it back to that again, but
Yeah, let's not do that.
yeah.
24-0 over the Colts, Dan. You know what the Jaguars did? Pitched the shutout. Death, taxes, and Justin Tucker. John Harbaugh. You don't beat the Dolphins kicking threes. If your name is Michael Jackson and you have a clear path to the end zone, you are obligated to moonwalk the final 5 yards. A happy Rosh Hashanah coming up for Packers running back A.J. Dillon. Quadzillowitz. Meanwhile, no Godwin, no Julio, no Gronk, an ejected Evans. It's just Tom and Cameron Brate out there, and he's 2-0, and he hasn't gotten comfortable yet, and both games were on the road. I hate him. Dan, I couldn't believe it. I guess there really is a first time for everything. I know, like me, you sat there and said to yourself, hell is going on, while the Jets and the Dolphins were the featured teams during the witching hour. It was glorious. Speaking of hell,
It's been so long, man.
Art Briles.
Has it really been 20 years since those two teams were in the red zone together at the same time? Is it older than the witching hour and the red zone? The fact that the Dolphins and the Jets, I've gone months without seeing their football being played from 3:15 to 4:15.